This is NCPNS, or New Community Project News Service. I'm your host, DTM, or Dan the Man. In this show, we hope to bring joy and focus into your life. So, in the spirit of our viewing pleasure, we have removed the green screen, but it shall return. Mark my words, it shall return. Today's headlines speak of global warming, so do we. 2007 is predicted to be one of the warmest years in the history of the planet, and it's looking like it so far. Here in the Chicago area, there's no sign of snow this winter. Children were seen building dirt forts for their mud ball fights. The heat could spell real trouble for polar bears. Due to disappearing ice pack, polar bear populations are down by 25% in many areas of the Arctic. And if you have any doubt about the severity of this problem, note this: the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, which in recent years has been better at protecting corporate profits, is pushing to have the bears listed as an endangered species. Must be serious, folks. Just to note, the New Community Project is on the issue. Check out the youth or young adult web pages on our website to get brand new ideas for turning down the heat. Do it or melt. In other reports from the north, our friend Charlie Swaney of Arctic Village, Alaska, reports hard times for this north of the Arctic Circle village. You know, you'd think that they could get oil out of their sinks in Alaska. I mean, they pump millions of barrels of it every day up there. But Charlie reports that in his native village, home to 150 Gwich'in Indians, petroleum has topped $7 a gallon. Meanwhile, Exxon has just had the penalty for its Exxon Valdez 11 million barrel spill back in 1989 in Alaska's Prince William Sound cut in half by an appeals court. I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it? $36 billion in profit last year needs a break, don't you think? And did we mention that Exxon is appealing to get the renamed Valdez back into Arctic waters? The name has been changed, but oh, the shame stays the same. NCPNS has recently learned that CEOs make, on average, $5,000 an hour. In response to these figures, we go to our in-the-field CEO, Chuck Waterman. Chuck?
Hi, I'm Chuck Waterman, President and CEO of Astringents Incorporated. As a corporate executive, each year I make more than 369 times what my average workers get paid, which comes out to a delightful $24.3 million. But I'm alright with that. You see, there's been a lot of talk these days about how corporate executives make too much money. And I couldn't disagree more. In fact, I find that to be 100% grade A USDA choice bull hockey. You see, if I were to raise my employees' salaries even $1 an hour, my annual salary would plummet to a measly $4 million. How am I supposed to live on that? Are you going to be the ones to tell my children that when they come downstairs for their morning breakfast, that they're not allowed to pour the $79 an ounce caviar on top of their cereal? And are you going to be the one to tell my wife that she'll no longer be allowed to keep endangered animals in our garage and force them to fight one another? And are you going to tell me, Chuck Waterman, President and CEO of Astringents Incorporated, that I'm not allowed to own 45 Lamborghini El Diablos and not drive a single one of them just out of spite? You see, there was a time when one man stood above all, Sam Walton, and he stood for the ideas that we corporate executives strive for every year. Paying immigrants almost nothing, especially the illegal ones. Oh, Sam, our world is a darker place without you.
Thank you, Chuck. That was informative. Of course, lest we feel too smug, most of us in the U.S. make 100 times or more what the world's poorest people earn. For what the average U.S.er spends eating out every month, about $120, a girl in Sudan can go to school for a year. The NCP Learning Tour going to Sudan in early January will be taking along money for girls' education. Send money and we'll put it to work. Speaking of Iraq, well, we aren't, but who isn't? Our dear leader says he is looking for different ways of doing this war, but when good ideas come up, he doesn't really seem to be interested. Some, for instance, have suggested engaging Iran since it's a key player in the region with a lot of influence with Iraqi radicals. The president turned that down flat. We here at NCP have no problem engaging Iran. Iran, will you marry me? I mean, hey, they're an oil exporter. The dowry's got to be pretty sweet. Hello, 2007. Looks like we'll be entering the year without James Brown, Gerald Ford, Donald Rumsfeld, Kramer from Seinfeld. And what did we get in return? More reality TV. Where have you gone, Donald Rumsfeld? The nation turns its lonely eyes to you. Hoo hoo hoo. This is DTM for NCPNS reminding you we are always changing the world. Now let's do it intentionally.